I'm ready.
All right, welcome. I am Michael. I'll be storytelling tonight. My pronouns are he, him. We want to go around and introduce all you wonderful people.
Hello, friends. You can call me Tutu or Laura Tutu. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Maxine the Toreador, whose pronouns are she, her.
I'm Hallie or Jalapeno, pronouns she, her. Gonna be playing Celeste the Tremere, also she, her.
Turn off that
Hi,
fan.
I am Bran, or Son of Asgard on TikTok. I am, my pronouns are he, they, and I'm going to be playing Connell the Gangrel, whose pronouns are he, him.
All right, it has been a couple weeks. You want to go over what has happened since?
This
Rather, what had happened in those last few?
one
Um,
time.
yeah, I'm not going to lie, I can't really remember much. It's been a time.
It's been a time.
We
Defected.
Yeah, I know we defected. We did some snooping around and ended up like encountering some wraiths.
Some possessed motherfuckers.
Yeah. Um, had a bit of a tussle with them. Found out they were being sent after Amanda, the senator's daughter, who got turned into a
Lasombra.
Lysandra.
begins with L. Aye, that Lasombra. Um, so knowing she's been turned into Lasombra, we're pretty much convinced at this point that the Sabbat is involved with both sides. We started kind of trying to play the field on both sides a little bit, feigning a kind of faction switch.
From Anarch to Camarilla.
Uh-huh. Oh god, I can't remember like the little intricate details that we've done.
Okay. Hold on. Thinking. So yeah, basically there was a moment where we fucked it. And we let something slip to the Camarilla that we shouldn't have. And by we, I mean Celeste. But we weren't gonna let Celeste go down with the ship. So we all
give her
just
a lot of shit about it.
we're just gonna give her shit about it
I
for
will never forget this.
the next eternity. Because that's how long we're gonna live, provided, shit doesn't go sideways.
I'm gonna become a fucking god. I don't know about you guys.
We've decided to play that we have switched sides to the Camarilla, to the Ivory Tower. So far we seem to be in Romeo's good graces. And it turns out the group of possessed humans have been sent to look for Amanda at the behest of one of the voodoo practitioners in the city, which is kind of big bad news because the Kindred don't fuck with the voodoo kids. We discussed the altercation with one of the spell slingers and made it very, very clear that Amanda is not to be found for the sake of everyone and for everyone's safety.
And it was her fiance that was looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only big detail.
Amanda's fiance has been looking. As far as we know, he is the only one who's been poking around. But who knows? There's a lot of bits and pieces and things happening.
All right, and as I recall, and it has been several sessions since we did this. Oriane had essentially set it up so that you could hand over. I don't think the game stuff had happened. Yeah, you can hand that over to Romeo, and that might take Anastasia out.
Well, no, that was how we defected.
Yeah, that was how we defected.
Okay.
We handed over the details of a poker game,
and shit went
where
down.
Anastasia was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, because the reason we were able to defect so smoothly is because Romeo basically said, wait for a signal. And the signal was a huge blowout at some kind of warehouse where we are assuming the poker game was.
All right. And I believe you were meeting with Romeo that the next day. And y'all had fed in what's his name? Fayez's domain.
Mm-hmm.
We've let Fayez know what we know essentially about Amanda and the fact that she's gone. The fact that it's been taken care of. So as far as we know, the Sabbat will not be bringing the Inquisition down on our heads anytime soon, but that's definitely still a worry. Especially if Luke knows enough to go looking for people who can sling magic. That's weird. That's weird. I'm putting a pin in that for later. I don't like that.
We did say to the voodoo folk, like, you know, like not to be like working with Luke anymore, right? We did say to them, like, yeah, we because we said to them, like, you know, we don't want to be killing folk, but if you keep doing this, folk will die.
Yeah,
Like,
essentially.
Yep.
We gave an ultimatum that honestly I don't think any of us were super jazzed about having to do. Scared the absolute bejeebers out of that poor girl.
Yeah, she was like getting her buddies to watch her while she was talking to us and shit.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we got the point across there. So
Yeah, as far as we know, the voodoo end of New Orleans is in agreement with the kindred that Amanda is gone and will remain gone.
I fed into the myths of alligators in the sewers.
encroached on some poor Nosferatu's territory.
Hey, I left them the leftovers, okay?
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're checking in. As far as I know, we're checking in with Romeo, probably to deliver the news about Luke and the fact that people are still sniffing.
Okay. Yes, I made a note last time. I guess we did rouse checks, and we had you wake up that morning. That evening, and do a little bit. And so, anything you want to do before? Let me decide everything you want to do before you go see Romeo. I'm going to make sure my door doesn't stop opening and shutting because of the wind.
I know what I want to do, so I'm going to go grab a drink because I got to take meds as well. So I'll be back in a minute. I say a minute. I'm going to be hobbling the entire way.
Oh
got
no,
this,
buddy. Your foot. Your forefoot.
His foot got janked.
Bran had to get his toenail popped off.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Poor guy. Yeah, I mean, I think I can vibe it to hunger as long as nobody pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm good on hunger, so I don't need to really feed yet.
I think Maxine would want to go and check on the club. Just do a general walk around, make sure everyone is where they should be, make sure nobody is where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, club has got, like I said, lots of people kind of coming through. Looks like a fairly standard night. You've got the shows going on. Yeah, you kind of make the initial look for pickpockets, things along those lines. It looks like they've kept them pretty well out.
Any new Ivory Tower faces?
No, because they're honestly probably not going to, at least for a while, be there because it's going to take some time before people are like, is this Anarch or Camarilla territory?
That's fair. But yeah, making sure, in general, making sure that the people that need to be there are there, making sure the people that shouldn't be sniffing around aren't sniffing around. Maintaining the masquerade, at least from a business standpoint.
I am making sure that Celeste and Maxine are no more than an arm's length away.
Aw, he gives a fuck.
Buck up.
I love you.
Purely from a business point of view.
No.
No. It's like, because Maxine, she's a hothead, and like Celeste. I mean, like, Celeste gets into trouble by stepping outside the door. So Connell's at this point of going like, it's really, really bad when a group of vampires, a gangrel is the one that has to be responsible.
I wouldn't say hothead. Maybe
Hostile.
like...
Aggressive.
Spicy.
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 A little bit testy.
Just a little
Slightly south of calm.
slightly so. Okay, I'll accept that.
All right, and is Celeste, are you doing anything before?
Nothing
Okay.
specific, no.
Nah, in all honesty, though, it's because he kind of cares a little bit.
Yes. So there was a place that you're supposed to meet. I believe it was like not in one of the normal like warehousings, but a place you'd actually like drive into, shut the door, and talk like an old sort of abandoned fire station type thing, similar
Not
to
the
what
usual club.
Connell lives in. Or that would be an old abandoned garage that could open up and you have things go all the way through. So there's some room there and it's boarded up.
As soon as the car stops, Connell and Pushin are like launching themselves out. Like, try to make it look as cool as possible, but it's very evident Connell does not like enclosed spaces.
Ninja! All right.
Like Connell's out the door while Pushin's out the window. Like,
Maxine forgot that they were going to go to like the abandoned warehouse district and she wore the good heels and now she's mad about it.
Yeah, nice thing the place here isn't too bad. Too bad off because you have a feeling it's used fairly often for these sort of meetings. When you get in, it is clean. There's not dust and such all over the place, even though the outside of it is clearly been abandoned for a while. But when you kind of go inside, it's decently well kept up. It doesn't take too long for a set of headlights to appear, drive up into it, and then the garage door shuts.
Yeah, we would have wandered in shortly after.
Yeah. Door opens up. Aladdin gets out first, and then Romeo joins shortly after. Now, because it's been a little bit. Let me check check if I've got that in my notes because I may have forgotten to write it down. Did something happen with Anastasia at the game?
Yeah, as far as we know, Anastasia is done for. Because
Yes.
the place
Yeah.
where the poker game was at was obliterated.
Okay.
Quote unquote gang violence, maybe.
and even when we said about giving the money from the poker game, Romeo wasn't interested. As soon as we mentioned Anastasia, he was like, I will move fucking heaven and earth to do this shit. So, yeah, I think we're going safe on the assumption that Anastasia is no longer among us. She's sleeping the big sleep.
The big sleep. The final death.
Orion didn't seem to care about handing her over much, so.
No.
Yeah, not at all.
She was clearly a thorn in Orion's side in some way or other.
I wonder what that's like.
You got the whole damn roses.
Hey!
So he leans back a bit on the hood of the car and just goes, well, that turned out profitable. Things checked out. We have someone who's been a pain now gone, and managed to get ourselves a couple selectmen. Those who
Really?
know which side their bread's buttered on right now.
Well, it sounds like everybody turned out happy then.
Glad to see some other people are knowing exactly where true loyalty should lie.
Loyalty's big with you, isn't it?
It's what we are.
It's one of those things that Gangrel I know tend to be very loyal to their friends. Is that correct?
We're loyal to our kin. We don't have friends.
That's a shame. I do like having.
There's an audible snort from Maxine.
It's just like covering her mouth.
Just-
But yes, we are, and we encourage those of our clan to accept a small circle, but to remain loyal to that circle.
I respect that. See, I know the Anarchs are often at each other's throats. It's kind of hard to get a whole bunch of kindred who decide they don't want to listen to anybody to, listen. Camarilla, we are about loyalty. We're about working together because together We're strong. Things like the Second Inquisition happen. We've got the resources. We've got things that'll bring people in.
Sir, I believe, funny you should mention the Inquisition. We have, well, you remember the young lady, the representative's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
We have reason to believe that people are still looking for her.
So that Lasombra's getting people after her?
No. More on the living, breathing side of things.
I don't think probably.
Her lover is pursuing channels to find her.
Do you have a name or information about this person?
We spoke to one of the young ladies who frequents the Voodoo Emporiums. Seems like he went to them first.
Brought the mages into it.
Yeah.
That's
they're not blind. I know you know that. They're aware of how things work in the dark.
He kind of turns to Aladdin for a second. Aladdin kind of nods, pulls out a phone, and you see him start texting to someone. Now,
so
how high up does this go? Do you know in the Voodoo segment in New Orleans?
Sir, I would suggest before we make any hasty or potentially bloody decisions, we did discuss, well, with the young lady who started the altercation. She's been made aware that there is to be no more looking and no more hunting. I would like to take her at her word.
Oh, believe us, we're not going to get any kind of bloody altercation with the mages here in town. My God, no. We have communication with them. We keep to our own cells. We make sure that we don't take any of their people. However, keeping that lines of communication open can stop these things from becoming messy. Because nothing her boyfriend can do if he finds her, then at best out her as being one of us, and that means we got to kill at least him, possibly her too.
Well, on that note, I've been pondering the situation since we spoke to this Luke fella. I'd like to try and reach out to Amanda. Bring her here.
That might be difficult because last I heard, the Amanda was being kept by some of the Anarch Nosferatu, kept safe.
And there's no way we can attempt to get a message to her.
I can see what I can do. You might actually be better at getting that message to them than. I mean, it depends how many of the bridges you've burnt.
I have a particular, I wouldn't say friendship, but for some reason, some of the thin bloods on their side think that I have some pull or had some pull before this happened. I can try and feed the information through them, but if she's willing to, would you accept her?
Yeah. She hasn't gotten too far into either side yet, making her choice. Camarillo is always a home for those who are looking for one.
Storyteller, is he bullshitting us?
Basically, there's nothing he's said so far that needs because like the Camarilla, the more they have within limits, the more kind of power and such they got. There's also definitely some there's some utility in having someone who you might be able to train up or help and get in positions who cannot be seen on cameras.
Bearing in full mind that if this guy is lying to Connell and he finds out, Connell will be fucking like he'll be chasing death. Like so, yeah. This is Connell's whole thing. Connell takes people at their words, but can break that word, and he's burned his bridge with you.
Sir, my only concern is the fact that she's new. At this point, what, barely a month? We did what we could to protect her, and to be frank, I promised her that no harm would come to her. She was chased in my club. She was terrified. She had no idea what was going on, no idea why she was so hungry.
I think we can take care of that this evening. Would you be willing to come with me to Elysium?
Now?
Well, in about an hour and a half. We're getting a meeting of some of the uppers in the Camarilla. Spreading the idea that the blood hunt is off at this point would be easy to do. And introducing all of you.
Connell was going to look down at his very dirty, like mud-covered feet and such, and be like, "Don't really think that I look the part."
Maxine's gonna need at least 3 hours to get ready.
I can do it in an hour and a half. Thank you very much. I'm a professional.
I'm not going to have to take one of those shower things again, am I?
You
Nosferatu
absolutely
come
are.
to the Elysium as much as anyone else. We don't stand a whole lot on everyone looking the way, we may prefer. We understand you are who you are, same way as Katia. They're the Nosferatu primogen. Katia is who Katia is.
I will make an effort.
All right, hour and a half. Meet us at Elysium. We'll introduce you. We'll let them know that Amanda is no longer on the blood hunt. And we'll get that word spread.
Hey, storyteller, do we know where the Camarilla Elysium is?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Wait a second. We're not on that side completely yet.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, because, for the most part, even there's sort of these unspoken rules, like you don't do certain things, because if the Anarchs show up at Elysium, it's not that, vampires basically say, in the Elysium, and then there's the Anarch ones as well, it's like, we're not going to fight here. Everyone's dangerous without, it's not like they're not bringing weapons or something. Everyone's dangerous without weapons. So, coming into a place with a ton of vampires is a little stupid. And then generally because of Nosferatu and others, a lot of people aren't necessarily willing to go for we're going to try to bomb it, because that stuff's also often looked at. Plus, if you do that, then it means your Elysium's also it's that mutually assured destruction kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll be there in an hour and a half. Thank you, sir.
All right. And he and Aladdin get into the car. Garage opens up and they pull out.
We should, Celeste, I think we should head back to your place.
Yeah, before we talk too much.
You're going back to the worded fucking library basement with a goddamn ghost.
I have Norse runes set out this time, though.
You've got Norse runes set out. Connell actually feels a lot, he actually is visibly easier in the place, because his father was a Norse raider. So
Perfect.
It's almost like I've taken parts of myself. His father was from Norway, his mother was Irish.
What? Do we take parts of our player characters?
Never.
Build them out of our. What? It's crazy. It's crazy, Tuak.
So Connor will just kind of be looking at the runes with a very, very rare but small smile on his face. And then remember he has to have a shower and completely freak out.
We could also potentially just run you a goddamn bath. What?
Honestly, I'd just prefer if there was like a lake or something.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
you
if the
want.
water around here is good enough for that.
No, I don't think you want to go dipping around in the lakes in this area, Sugar. Not anymore. Maybe like 50 years ago, sure.
There could be alligators.
He's friends with the alligators. It's fine.
They are my people. Ever since I found out that I can summon not just cats, I'm so hyped.
Yeah, no.
I think that's the greatest joy of my TTRPG life is the fact that I assaulted a bunch of possessed folk with alley cats.
Fucking alley cats. Yeah, no. Maxine fully pulls out like a small goddamn like toiletry kit from her purse and like manages to do that thing that most like high femmes do, where they take everything from like daytime look to nighttime look in about the space of 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Always impressed with people who can do that. It takes me a minute. I'm not gonna lie.
When Maxine pulls out the toiletry set, Connell visibly actively takes 2 steps back as if she's pulled out, as if she's done the whole leather roll and rolled it out to show all the kind of torture devices. He's just like,
calm the fuck down. This is for me, not for you.
I wasn't. I was. He starts muttering in Gaelic and walks into the shower thing, just like casting off clothes as he walks.
He picks up the fucking clothes.
Picks up the clothes like this.
Just grumbling in patois.
You know, we could just burn those right now.
We could. Wait, he doesn't have any clothes here, does he?
I don't think so, but we could hurry up and go get him some.
Shit.
Oh, you got a clothing montage.
wait. Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
You guys go to Pretty Women, Connell?
Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
God damn it. Yeah, Maxine gets like a sparkle in her eye. You know what? It's been a minute since I have used the American Express card.
Oh fuck.
Michael, I'm gonna turn this into a fucking shopping episode.
I thought moving away from D&D, I would get away from shopping episodes.
Lies.
There will be a whole lot of
Slandering,
that because
calumny.
you only got so long to get there.
That's fine. That's fine. Maxine has her preferred joints in the town. She goes to her people. She gives Connell's exact height, size, and measurements because goddamn it, she knows him like that. Because she sizes everybody up. And comes back with like 3 bags in the
So let's go
space of
with
like
you and just like put a pair of big platform boots in there for herself next to him.
trots back in like 45 minutes.
Connell comes out of the shower and just like shake dries.
There's so much fabric and plush in here. You're gonna get all musty by doing that.
Here, put these on.
Kind of take the bag and look at it like, but what about my old clothes?
Don't give a shit. Go.
Just kind of wander back in, and he will put on the clothes that he's been given.
It's very much like Canadian chic. It's like blue jeans and flannel, but like nice flannel.
The lumberjack Connell.
Yes. He's been turned into a lumberjack, but a designer lumberjack.
You're like that guy
goddammit.
that splits wood on TikTok, and there's all the duets of people going.
Yeah.
He will actively refuse to wear any shoes or socks. It's like, my feet are clean now. That is the best you're getting.
You know what? I feel like that's a fair bargain.
And you know what? I kind of like this as a bit of a test for the camera. They said that they don't judge people based off of who they are. I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see how they treat Connell here.
Yeah, might as well. I don't know how I feel about bringing Amanda into this.
I accepted her as one of mine.
I know.
Can't leave her there.
I think we should deal with the fiance in some way.
Deal with him. How?
I don't know, but make it so he stops looking.
Anything you can do to make him forget?
I don't have that kind of power. Not yet. I'm not old enough. We're not all archaic like you.
Well, sadly, being an older gangrel doesn't provide any great benefits like yourselves. Most I can do is, well, kill him.
I can kill him from a distance.
From a distance.
Do we really want to be? Do we really want to be killing a lad
Oh,
just
Yes.
because he's trying to find a woman he loves?
no, of course not. But
I mean,
But if it
If it-
causes more people to look at us, we risk breaking the masquerade. And he's got connections. He's got power.
I don't even know if he knows what he has.
I mean,
You
Amanda's parents
Americans-
alone are just power.
You Americans like your baseball terminologies, so why don't we do the 3 strikes? He's looked once. Second time, we make a warning directly to him. If he does it a third time, then we do what we don't want to.
More of a NASCAR girl myself. But I'm picking up what you're putting down.
That's immediately like,
It's the car is the big checkered flag.
Feel, meow.
oh, the thing where they just go round in a circle.
Yeah, they just keep turning left.
Pretty much.
They're making another left turn. They're making another left turn.
Honestly,
Come
that-
back after the break and see what happens next.
after they make another left
They're
turn.
making another
Welcome back to
left
the break.
turn.
No one's dead. Oh, take a shot.
Honestly,
Oh,
that
peanut.
it's one of the things that I still remember from when I was not dead. Cold beer in one hand and the fucking midday sun baking my shoulders.
We used to play hurling.
What's that?
You had a stick and a rock, and you had to move the rock with your stick from one end of a field to the other.
So it's field hockey.
No, I've seen hockey. This is different. The rock isn't on the ground. You have to balance it on the end of your stick, while other people are trying to knock it off your stick. While at the same time, those same people are trying to hit you with their stick.
And by
That
move
sounds
the
like
stick,
something you would
move
like.
the rock, we mean move it to tears.
So for those
That's how we got
for those
lacrosse?
for those of you that haven't ever seen hurling, is like literally it's kind of like hockey, but it's like your stick is more like shovel shaped. It's also called shinty. And you get like a flat rock and you balance it on the shovel thing. You've got to move through everybody while using the stick to beat people. Like you actively can hit people in the shins with a stick.
I think
Right.
I saw that on an episode of Outlander.
Yeah, you get to the end and you've got to slam the rock down on the other end of the field. It's like field hockey if field hockey had an aggressive brother who was slightly alcoholic and smoked 40 a day.
So it's like field hockey. Or it's like actual
Oh, it's
hockey.
field hockey.
It's like actual hockey.
The actual hockey.
Nah, it's not. It's not like hockey. We didn't have a gloves off rule. We never wore gloves.
Speaking of moving a rock to cry, did any of you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Not
Not
yet. God damn
yet.
it. Honestly, I the idea of sitting in a theater right now kind of makes me want to barf and die. So that's probably why.
I was able to
Everything
go at
everywhere
like
all at once.
11
I don't
a.m.,
know.
so no one was in there. Like it was very few
Okay.
people.
No, I've kind of moved away from things that are coming out in cinemas right now because I have
Have a baby?
I have a very very low opinion of Hollywood right now.
And you have a baby.
I mean,
Fresh-
yeah, but
A fresh baby.
we have like baby cinemas here in the UK. So like
Aw.
Oh, that's kinda
cinemas
cool.
that it's
They're
like
very little.
instead of like chairs, it's like bean bags and cushions and stuff, so you can just kind of sit and chill with your baby while the movie's on.
that's so cute.
America, get on this.
Yeah, America, seriously, get the fuck on this. It's great.
I will say that
Um,
that movie does not feel anything like it is the anti-Hollywood movie.
Mm.
It's very clear it's by the same guys who did a movie with Daniel Radcliffe's corpse that had a boner that pointed in the right direction, where they could do this to his arm, and he would like potable water would come spraying out of his mouth, and he would help
Yeah,
all day.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
That movie was
Love
ridiculous.
that movie though. Like
That was
I love that kind of crazy shit.
stupid.
Though,
Loved it.
though, as much as I like that one, everything was like one of the best films I've seen. And
That's what I keep hearing.
Forever.
People are just
Same.
like probably like the best thing they've ever seen.
I will say right now, I'm a massive horror movie fan, and I did watch something under duress, which was easily a 10 out of 10 for me. Amazon Prime has released a sequel. It's a little bit like semi-reboot, semi-sequel to Candyman.
oh, that's
Ooh.
Jordan Peele produced that.
Jordan
Ooh.
Peele.
He didn't direct
Here's the
it.
thing.
but he
Honestly,
produced it.
It's fucking insanely good. I'm a massive horror. Like I'm like a, you know, when they said they were going to remake Nightmare on Elm Street, I was like, if you fuck this up, I will come for your head. Candyman was like one of my favorite movies I watched with my dad, and the kind of reboot / sequel was just phenomenal. It was so well done. It was great.
If you like horror, have you seen Rec? REC?
Yes, love all of them. I
Oh.
watched the fourth one recently.
I've only seen the first two. I remember the third one was good because I remember it looking.
The third
Not
one
great.
was weird because it was in like a wedding, and they ended up having a point where the guy in the wedding was wearing armor and carrying a sword and shit while fighting these zombie folk. But the fourth one kind of goes back to the kind of prime storyline, which was really, really interesting.
I'm gonna swing us back into the world of
Yep.
vampires.
Sorry.
No, because AMC is doing interview with the vampire. They're making a
Yep.
series. I am
TV
so
series?
excited. I could pee.
Oh my
Um,
gods above, yes.
And one of my friends who lives in New Orleans has seen them shooting stuff.
Nice.
I would die.
And
Back to New Orleans.
before we get back to that, do remember I put Near Dark as far as like shit kicking vampire things. You gotta see it.
I need figure out your life like post school things, and I will come over and we will trade movies.
Okay, I am post school things.
Okay,
I'm always going to say for a good vampire movie, guys, 30 Days of Night.
I can't do it.
Really?
I can't do it. I'm a weenie. I'm a big weenie.
Oh.
I can't do 30 Days of Night. I can't do 28 Days Later. I'm a huge weenie when it comes to almost all horror films.
Oh
I
my
like horror
god.
films.
Can't do it.
30 Days of Night is classic. So I think it's
Mhm.
kind
It
of
is.
good for me because I've actually been, like, you know, I've lived in a country where I experienced like 12 days of solid nighttime. Like,
Blah, 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 blah. Nope.
it's just so good. I love that movie.
Absolutely
Anyway,
not.
sorry about that.
Anyways,
Okay.
Tangent.
So the museum, the New Orleans Museum of Modern Art, is where the Elysium is held for.
Fucking classy. Holy fuck.
I like that.
Like the camera kind of goes class. The Anarch is our Elysium is when it's not raining. We're in like the number 3 cemetery.
Which is like punk rock in its own way.
Yeah, which I mean that's
Yeah.
kind of how the Anarchs are. The camera,
God, I love
if
it.
they're doing something, it's gonna be fucking grandiose, and they're gonna show off the power that they can basically go, yeah, we're taking this for the evening.
Literally the ivory fucking tower.
Mhm.
I hate them, but I love them. But I hate them, but I love them. Aesthetically, yes.
It's a mood.
Because there's a reason I'm playing a Toreador.
Oh yeah, 18-year-old me was like all about the Camarilla, but now I'm like, nope, Anarch would be the one to go, but Camarilla does have class.
I know, but at the same time, like the fact that the anarchs cannot get their heads out of their own asses enough to like follow like a guideline. I just like, guys, this is how
I
you're
would-
gonna get yourselves killed.
That's
You're
a
all
would
gonna
just-
die.
I would just like to say that my wife just came in the living room like this
Hey,
to come and get her glass, and has invented, quite honestly, the greatest adjective I've ever heard in my life. So from now on, to describe anybody sneaking into a room like this, I will be using the term goblinating.
It had like you had like Max Shrek and Nosferatu hands a little bit.
From now on, all Nosferatu shall be goblinating.
it's not obfuscate, it's goblinate.
Yeah.
So
Oh my god!
Cool.
I was just thinking there when you said that. That would be like the best place ever for Connell to have as a house now, if we ever move to Camarilla territory. Just make him like a gravedigger. That would be ideal.
Just dig out a fucking mausoleum for him.
Hell yeah!
So there's security forces that are there as people are sort of arriving. Look like, look essentially like like armed security, but they look kind of like high, very expensive armed security. There's literally like a red carpet, and you see like limos. Sometimes there's limos pulling up, but then there's also like a Kia Sophia is also like pulling up, and some of those are like kind of parking the thing, and then people are getting out and walking. Though those with a lot more money are being pulled up to sort of the front. They get out and they walk up into the area itself. And as
Thank
they're coming
God.
in, they're being met by people. One of which who looks very officious, as he sort of comes up and like very occasionally will like check something on his phone for something, but is for the most part like just comes up and like allows people through, and he'll talk to them and then talk to the guards, who then let them go.
Maxine,
What?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Stand up straight. And if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to.
I don't want to say anything.
Fine. I'll do the talking to my best of my ability.
I'm gonna look down at Pushin and be like, and then like Pushin like straightens up a little bit.
Oh, is Pushin with you?
Hell yeah!
He's a gangrel. Come on.
I'm not wandering into unfamiliar territory without my familiars.
I'm trying to see if there's actually like maps.
He's my emotional support animal.
Maxine will put her hand in the crook of Connell's elbow, very much like escort gallant thing.
Connell
I'm just
will
gonna
roll
calmly walk behind mom and dad and
Oh,
Connell's gonna roll his eyes, accepting this as like an inevitability at this point. Like, just like, oh, fuck.
you look very handsome.
I look like a fucking shortbread tin.
Wait, what?
Do you guys not get shortbread over in America?
Not really.
shortbread, yeah.
But like, what is it? I don't know what the tin has. What does the tin have to
Right,
do with it?
so a shortbread. Oh, I guess you guys would call it flannel, right? But shortbread tin, because shortbread's a Scottish thing, right? So
Oh, yeah.
shortbread is like it's like little biscuits that just have sugar on them. That's it. It's
They're
not
like
even
the crumbly cookies, right? The ones
And they
you
come
put
in
in
the
your
tin that
tea?
everyone uses for sewing.
No. Biscuits. But it's like
Biscuits.
the dough for the biscuits isn't even sweetened. It's just dough.
Yeah.
And we just put sugar on top of it because in Scotland you don't get to enjoy your food. But it's become this like really trademark Scottish thing. But the tins are always the same. Doesn't matter which fucking company makes it. They're just tartan. They're just tartan all over. So because he's wearing flannel and shit, he's like. I remember seeing a shortbread tin in Canada. And it was like, Canada's own attempt at a Scottish delicacy. Fuck off. And it had like this big fucking lumberjack on the front of it, like this. With his big axe and the big smile, and just holding a pile of shortbread, and I was just like, what the fuck kind of shitty advertising is this?
Poor thing.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to hear any shit. You're going to insult Canada?
Yes,
That's
my
our
best
job.
friend is Canadian.
I didn't
I'm gonna
insult.
shit on him every chance I get.
didn't
Fuck you,
insult
Eric.
Canada. I didn't insult Canada. I insulted Canada's attempt at shortbread. On almost everything else, Canada's fucking awesome, all right?
Their feelings
No,
are
that-
probably all hurt now.
Nah, they would just
That's a
apologize to me.
lie.
They would just apologize to me for making a bad attempt at shortbread. Seriously, Trudeau's about like 10 minutes from phoning me right now, man. Like he's
Well, sorry about our shortbread. It's well, we
yeah.
tried.
No, it's fine until you get.
genuinely, I love Canada. Like one of my favorite animals are elk, and they have like danger elk. Like, yeah, fucking, I love Canada. That shit's great. I just hate their shortbread.
Anyway,
So okay, so yeah, Maxine
Yeah.
is gonna
Yes.
take Connell's elbow as a reassurance because it's fine.
And one of the person who's there kind of sees you, the one officious, and goes, and then walks over, and goes, "You would be our new guests, correct, Romeo? The prince told me to expect you.
Yes.
That would be Maxine, Celeste, and Connell,
Correct.
Yes.
and got a little pen, and that.
His name is Pusheen, and I will thank you to remember that.
I'm afraid we do not allow familiars in the museum.
What about the other gangrels?
Gangrels left the Camarilla quite a while ago.
Well,
Oh, we're back.
There are others with animalism. None of the Nosferatu bring theirs.
I don't
We
think
were
a
told
push-
everyone was
There's-
welcome, no matter what they look like or how they acted.
Everyone. There's, however, a lot of grounds here for Pushin to hunt or play on.
Fusion. Go cause mischief.
Okay, boss.
Pushin's like, oh god, thank fuck for this. As Pushin's running away, I'm going to mutter in Gaelic, yeah, you get to run.
Yeah, and he just kind of goes up and goes, I'll guide these ones in, and one of his assistants sort of steps forward. And he goes, I'll introduce you as you come in. Everyone else knows each other, so you will be unexpected by some of the guests.
very well.
And you see, like as you're doing this, there's a Ford Fusion pulls up, and out of it climbs a Nosferatu. Who kind of like looks past you. Like it was one of those like part of the face is actually bared to the point where you can see teeth. Oh, and it just sort of like kind of looks at you, cocks an eye a little bit, as he walks into the place itself.
Maxine gives a very, very tight smile, and she grips a little harder at Connell's arm. A little more nervous than she's letting on.
Connell, at that point, is going to very, very subconsciously just kind of reach his hand out and pat her hand, like as if to try and calm her down, but then still eyeballing this Nosferatu kind of thing. Like, what the fuck is this cunt doing? That's the fucking stink eye.
This fucking cunt.
How the fuck is this dirty fucking mongrel?
But yeah, squares her shoulders, does the full on beauty pageant, blank eyed, half smile. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Smile away.
I've been here before, haven't I?
Yeah, were you used to be part of the Camarilla?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but because Tremere life.
Yep.
Hashtag Tremere life.
So
Okay.
inside of it, as you pass through the kind of the doors, there's a number of people who are kind of coming in who definitely have watching all of you, and there's some of the ones who are kind of closer to the large outdoor windows or doors that you can see through that are slowly starting to kind of top, and then the people that they're talking to taps them so others start to turn. As you walk in, you go past these giant pillars in through the main entrance, and you got the Great Hall itself has got all these pillars around it as well. You also see some gorgeous these smaller plinths have been placed there. Some gorgeous dancers, most of which are blindfolded,
A fucking course.
who
Holy
are
shit.
and the dance stuff that they're doing is sort of that high. It's that really kind of artsy stuff that someone who's unaware of modern dance type stuff is gonna look at and go, okay.
Fuck.
That
Do you need medical attention?
So as they're blindfolded, kind of going. You also see there's some people walking through, bringing small things of blood in there. They're not enough to be much of a. It's more done as the having the drink in hand kind of thing. It usually doesn't have a lot of nourishment. He stops and in a very loud voice announces each of you, and as that starts, like more and more people, like conversations stop, and everyone's kind of looking, and then when he finishes, it just kind of turns and goes, "Enjoy your evening," and then all those little groups that you see start like turning towards each other and talking very quietly and intensely to each other as you are looking across, um, as you're looking across this expanse. Rosario
Uh,
Ficella, another Tremere, Celeste, you see, makes a beeline straight towards you.
With Connell's hand on Maxine's hand, as that all happens, like Maxine would be able to feel Connell's like nails coming out. Like the I always describe it very much in the same way, like in X-Men Origins Wolverine, when you see Sabretooth just playing with his nails and they just very visibly get longer. Like Maxine would feel his like coming out.
ouch.
Not like into her, but like as his hand's sitting there, she would just feel like, the kind of the tips started kind of like then like
I know. I don't like it either.
Okay, I put her picture over the camera side. It's a board actually instead of the picture.
Okay.
I will eventually put that in there. I had her on my other screen. And she just walks over and goes, Celeste, I heard you might be rejoining us. This is incredible.
It's a bit of a shock to me as well, but how have you been?
I have been excellent, quite good. What brings you back to us?
Sometimes you just get a little bored of the chaos.
You'll find you'll find no lack of chaos here. You know how all kindred can be.
Oh, of course.
So,
Anything new with you? I mean, how have you been?
sort of smiles and goes, I found some interesting tomes that I've been studying. And frankly, here in town, getting a little bit more invested in some of the various businesses and such, working on press and other things. Is your cult going well?
Oh, phenomenally.
I always wish I had it in me to start a
Grows
cult.
by the day.
Being worshipped, that must be fantastic.
Just feels right.
And she looks at the other two and goes, Maxine, Connell, I've heard of you, but we've not met.
Pleasure. And Maxine will do the very southern debutante extension of the hand.
Ah. Just a moment. Oh, kind of takes it just with a bit of a smile and does a slight kiss on the knuckles and just goes, a true lady, welcome.
Rosario, was it?
Yes. A Tremere old acquaintance of Celeste's. Happy to make that again.
I suppose we always do find our way home, don't we?
That we do.
Rosario, I don't know if you've heard, I do own a club just off of Bourbon Street.
The Club Domina.
Yes.
Heard good things, but not visited because of obvious problems.
Of course. Well, to be perfectly frank, it's always been, how do you say, neutral territory. I'm not going to judge any banners that people walk under, as long as they are polite, as long as they tip my people. So, consider this your formal invitation.
Excellent. It'll be great to go and see all the great things I've heard of. So, I'm assuming you want to find Romeo?
Yes, if he's available. I believe he wanted to make introductions.
Yeah. And you see a couple others as you're kind of going through. There's you've definitely got like Abel, who I think Celeste and Maxine had talked to. Kind of paying attention. Bridget Cody, who was the one that Connell had met with. Fayez and Sabina are kind of off in a corner watching with fairly pointed smiles.
Maxine gives them both a really obnoxious, like, little finger wave.
Mhm.
Connell will kind of like, just like, kind of like the chin up to Sabine, and then to Fayez, just like, go to wave, and then like.
He just kind of laughs as that happens. Rosario's
He does do it with a smile. It's not like a fuck you. It's more like a
Suck it.
yeah. He's still got his feud with Fayez, but he's grown to kind of understand him a little bit. Like not understands the wrong word. See why he does things the way he does.
It's mutual respect. You don't have to like
I think it is. It's not like they're friends or anything, but he does have a begrudging level of respect for him. Especially with Connell coming into a position now of him going into being a primogen. Like, he's kind of having to see it from his side of things. So it's not friendly, but it's not hostile. There's no animosity. It's very obvious that he's...
I will say, Fayez is not a primogen.
Yeah, but he's got a position within the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Connell is now having to understand how this works.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be going into being a primogen at some point. So he's got a bit more understanding towards Fayez. Still wouldn't go and have a beer with him, but he's not going out of his way to kill him at this point.
I hate you, but...
So I do want to point out it is completely not hostile. It's...
Okay.
It gets a little like, like when you were fucking around in church and mom gave you like the underarm pinch.
No, my mother was an Irish Catholic. I got straight up slapped in the head. Like in front of the priest fucking joined in with it. Like, Father, would you mind blessing the boy? Oh, yeah, of course I will. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Like, yeah.
I'm tired of being blessed by God.
I don't like being Catholic.
No, he gets a little like pinch, like right in the. Will you stop insulting people? But she's laughing as she reprimands him because it's funny.
Connell will literally square up to a Prince of the Camarilla, but fucking winces away from Maxine. It's just fucking ridiculous.
He's a smart man.
God, you're such a fucking shithead.
I'm the fucking shithead. You're the one acting like this is fucking like some kind of fucking fairy tale ball or some shite like that.
What, you think I've got a choice? It's either that or I'm gonna start screaming.
Just remember, every one of these people wipes their arses the same as you.
There's like,
I don't think you've seen how I wipe my ass.
Like,
clearly the Camarilla have bidets.
Nobody here uses toilet paper. It's all bidets. Come on.
I love the idea of somebody introducing Connell to a bidet and him just being like, fuck that! Just marching out.
Or just going, I've seen water fountains, thank you very much.
Oh my god. Connell tries to drink out of a bidet.
Right up the nose.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been so nervous and so uncomfortable that you have to physically keep yourself from laughing?
Yes.
I think that's where Maxine is right now. Like, she is struggling.
Is anybody else here barefoot? Because I know there's a couple of clans that do tend to go barefoot.
Nosferatu, sometimes, especially because Nosferatu often use the sewers and other things for moving. Does New Orleans have sewers big enough to get? They have to.
They have to.
Yeah, basically.
Anywhere that's got a waterlogged portion of it would have to have like storm drains. So like. Yeah.
It's just you can't have basements there, but yeah, there'll be a difference between that and sewers, because that's fine if they fill with water. I'd forgotten why that came up. Anyway,
I was asking if any other people there would be barefoot.
Oh yeah, Nosferatu. Yeah, so yeah, like some of the Nosferatu are, some of them have got shoes and such, but beyond that, nobody else.
Okay.
And she tells you, she's like, he's up on the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'll have to get back to you about those tomes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys.
Pleasure to meet you, Rosario. Thank you. just like starts marching after Celeste, like half dragging Connell with her.
Connor's like basically biting his knuckle at this point, like
Shut up!
Celeste just looks pissed and annoyed. Like she's basically coming back home after failing. Like,
Shut up! I will kill you right now.
Yeah, like there's a lot of.
gonna say, if I have to look at one more fucking blindfolded dancer, death might be a fucking blessing.
Shut up!
both of you, chill. I cannot be the only one keeping it together here.
It's fine. We're fine.
I'm very sorry, Celeste. I will try to be a more appropriate person in front of your friends.
Thank you.
So the like on the third floor, it goes in, and he's got a few people kind of around him with him. He's in a place they currently have a Queen Nefertiti's Egypt thing going, and he's walking around that, kind of taking a look at some of the various taking a look at some of the various exhibits. If you want to see, this is actually there until July 17th.
That's so cool.
And then just a moment where he's looking at the Shabitas of Totnub, sorry. And just sort of, as you kind of come up there, and just turns and goes, how many of them do you think were us?
Well, considering the amount of mythology and stories that came out of that region, probably a fair more than anybody's ever expected.
What it was like to be able to live as a god where people knew not necessarily everything that you were, but we didn't have to hide like we do now.
It wasn't as great as you think it is.
First
At least they
smiles
left
and
you alone.
goes, you got to get a little bit of a taste of that before you came here?
There was a point where people confused wandering through forests in my home with wandering into the lands of Tir na Nog. People used to come out there babbling of madness and red painted demons.
How much of that was you?
As a now official American citizen, I would like to use my Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate myself.
Really incredibly unladylike snort of laughter.
He laughs a bit at that. He goes, it's a reason most of us stuck a little closer to the cities than you did. Well, Gangrel.
We didn't have cities back then. He's going to smile like, the good old days, back when we were killing Christians and then avoiding Romans. It was so good.
Honey, how many Christians you killed today? Did you stay away from the Romans?
Pulls out the rosary bead that he's constructed out of Christian teeth.
Did you avoid the Legionnaires?
Honey, what have I told you about bringing the tongues of Catholics into the dinner table? Yeah. Connor looks back on his time back in the old days, like very, very fondly. I guess now that that's been asked, he's now kind of becoming very aware of the fact that as much as he's a young generation of vampire, he is old. Like he's incredibly old. He's past the millennium point at this. Mind
that he was asleep for most of it.
Yeah.
He was asleep for a good.
But I think at the time, you probably would have been considered incredibly weak, like.
Oh yeah, of course.
Essentially
like a
thin
baby.
blood compared to the vampires back then.
Yeah.
And he got to sit there and marinate like a steak.
Now everyone's that weak.
But it will kind of say, my sire, though, people genuinely worshipped him as a god. They used to think his family were descended from gods. They thought his father was a son of Odin.
Your sire still around?
No. People like to tell their stories about how he died, but in reality, he died a very, very pitiful and pathetic death.
Romeo, darling, do you have any idea how old Connell is? he's older than dirt is the phrase that usually gets tossed around in
I am not older
And that's
than,
being
than
nice.
dirt. We had dirt.
We got new dirt now, though.
Your dirt isn't the same.
It's all homogenized
Doesn't-
and shit.
Doesn't, and he's going to like very, like his feet are going to very. I imagine Coral like very, very different from myself because I've got hammer toes. I've got like fat, pudgy toes, but Coral has like very like he
Got
could
little monkey
knead,
toes.
he could knead the like
Just
Beast from X-Men style. He could knead the dirt with his toes. And as he's talking about it, he's going to like actively like his feet are going to basically make biscuits on the ground. He's going to be like, you can't feel it between your toes. It wedges. It doesn't. It's hard to describe.
It's centuries of unnatural chemicals and God knows what else.
Take your word for it. Maxine, tell me about your sire.
Do I have to?
It may or may not come up. I'm deciding.
What was the note that I put?
Fuck this
Fuck
bitch.
that bitch. Yeah, that stands.
Both the beach.
She Aurelia. She was a piece of work. And like Maxine's been generally just uncomfortable, but mostly because she's overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about her sire.
Oh, he doesn't ask you. That's just me.
Okay,
This is, yeah,
I
sorry.
thought. Oh God.
No. This is out of character. This is me asking you.
Aurelia is the worst. Very much the standard Toreador who saw something pretty and decided that she had to have it. Be damned on what the object of her affection thought. Maxine did not have any choice in her turning.
How long ago was this?
What do we say, like the 70s?
Okay. All right, and this was here in New Orleans?
Yeah. Well, not New Orleans proper. Probably one of the smaller towns.
Okay.
One of the parishes.
But in Louisiana. And
Yeah.
when's the last time you saw her?
Shit. 1996.
Okay, and how are things left between you?
Like the note that I left.
From her point of view.
I feel like something along the lines of if I see you again, I will diablerize you. Might have been thrown around.
From you, I'm assuming, or from her.
Yeah, from Maxine.
And
She hates her. Hates her.
And Celeste for Cyrus.
So she was basically chosen to as Ultramare to turn, so she absolutely had a choice and kind of showed promise with her abilities with like the metaphysical beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
However, the very strict structure of the Camarilla and how the Trimare hierarchy worked made her turn away from it before eventually going to the Anarchs, which kind of left her on bad terms with Cyrus there, and basically cut all ties with him because he was disappointed in her for wanting that. And it was a very tough break between the two because he was, teaching her everything he could, and she threw that in the gutter to leave. And now we're back.
I gave you so much. So many things I could have given you. What did you do? You spit in my face and you threw it away.
Spit in my face.
Well, I would have spat in your drink, but you didn't have one. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And for shits and giggles, tell me about Ivar, who looks a lot like not Stellan Skarsgård, the one who was in the Norseman.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander, yeah.
I know my Scandinavians. Don't you know? We all know each other.
Tell him hello. I liked his movie quite a bit. I wish it had done better. At the box office.
I liked The Northman. As far as as far as like Norse movies go, not the worst. Fairly accurate. I kind of tried to aim more for Gustav Skarsgård with Ivar's appearance. I really like the kind of Floki look.
A little off.
So Ivar, Connell's sire, is very, very famous. His sire is actually Ivar the Boneless. All the kind of myths and legends about Ivar, Connell would have been able to know which ones were bullshit. That was actually true.
He owes me money for that one.
Connell and Ivar drifted apart when Ivar started going along the lines of becoming Ivar the Cruel. Also, Connell knows the real reason why he was called Ivar the Boneless. He probably would never share it out of or probably wouldn't share it with everybody out of a sense of respect. Because Gangrel, even if we have grudges, we still hold respect. Ivar turned Connell on Connell's choice. Connell had the choice, and he did take it. But it wasn't. It was a choice, but not really a choice. Connell was wounded in battle, and his choice was, you're surrounded by dead Englishmen right now, so obviously you can fight. Now we need people like you, but you will have to leave behind your wife, your children. You'll have to leave all of it behind. And that wasn't really a big thing back in those days. Like Connor's father was a Norseman. He was a Norwegian raider. Mm-hmm. So Connell had seen his dad a handful of times in his life, so he fully understood the fact that this was part of life, and he accepted it. He did a lot of things to begin with that he's not proud of. Did a lot of very typically Norse things. Burned down churches in England, raided villages, all that kind of crap. But the point where Ivar started going to the point where he was like murdering children and such, that's when Connor was like, this isn't what you told me it was. Before finding out that Ivar had, I don't know how you would explain it in the Vampire the Masquerade style things, because I don't know everything about that world, but Ivar obviously had a lot of health issues, and one of them affected his brain. It also affected another one of Ragnar's sons, a guy called Halfdan. Mm-hmm. Where he started to kind of lose his grasp on reality. And at that point, him and Connell kind of parted ways. To humans, there's a lot of different beliefs on how Ivar died. The biggest kind of historically accurate one that we have is that he died ill in Ireland. I don't know if there's illnesses that can kill a vampire, so I guess there would be another reason for it than that. But Connell will probably be at some point arranging to go pay respects or something. But I don't imagine Ivar is still alive.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you probably
old.
Yeah, you probably got tortured at a place where you're not quite sure what's happened to him.
Connell at the point he was tortured. I mean, Connell was only maybe 50, 60 years a vampire at that point, like not like baby. At the point where he was tortured, he and Ivar probably hadn't spoken in a couple of decades. Okay. He was tortured in Ireland during the time of the 12 Kings. So yeah, Ivar would have been over in like Denmark or something, or Iceland at that point.
I'm thinking my knowledge of how the Vampire the Masquerade and the vampires in this world work is still pretty limited. I'm doing my damn reading, but there are magics that can be used to alter a vampire's mind.
Could very much be that he pissed off a
yeah, he could have been cursed.
A Tremere or something like that.
Looks like you got vampire syphilis.
Well, a lot of people think that actually is what it is, because along with the whole stereotype of what Vikings did, only one group of Vikings did the R part of the R and pillaging. But it is known that Ivar did do that, or it's believed that he did that. So it could very much be that's what happened.
Well, I read about
What
what
is-
Al Capone, because I always thought Al Capone died in prison, and it turned out he was out for a long time. But it
What?
just right. I was when I
Hold on.
because I was looking that up for a game I was running, and it was like yeah, Al Capone ended up dying. I did it for a class thing. He ended up he wasn't in jail all that long, but when he got out of it, the syphilis was already eating at his mind, and he was out of
Okay.
jail for a while. I would have sworn he had
Oh my
died. in jail.
God. That's
See, I'm a STEM nerd, so like
ugh.
history stuff, like I love learning about it, but don't know a whole lot, and
Yeah.
so
It's always been.
I
the-
thought Al
the
Capone died in
thing.
prison. That was
I really
Like-
thought that too, and I was like, wait, that's incorrect. He died in prison,
Yeah.
right?
The thing that's always like blown my mind about like everybody's fascination with all of these like historical drama romance things. It's
Mhm.
like y'all had so much syphilis.
All over.
always.
Nobody bathed.
History was
Maybe
just
sick.
one big board of who's got what STD.
Who's gonna die from it first?
So Romeo at this point kind of turns and goes, considering Connell's new position, I think we should have a little bit of an opportunity to talk. However, Celeste Maxine, I did not want you to think that you had been forgotten. I called some old friends of yours. The door opens up. Two people you've never seen walk in. I'm kidding. Both of your sires step into the room. Want to take a bio break?
Yep. I have to think about this.
Yep.
I need food.
All right, be back in
Also,
about
I
10.
need to eat.
All right.
Fuck.
All right, so in through a door come Cyrus and Aurelia. Cyrus has got kind of a parent who knew you were going to end up back smile on his face. Aurelia's got the kind of sparkle in her eye that seems dangerous.
Um. So, Connell, you know how like your nails were kind of starting to poke at Maxine's hand? She digs her manicure into your bicep. And she is fucking like predator locked on Aurelia.
Well, Connor at that point is going to he's going to actively tense up. Not tensing like out of nerves or anything, tensing in a form of like, yeah, I'm now locked into place, so if you're pouncing, you're going to have to take me with you. And under his breath, he's just going to say, easy, we're surrounded.
Bitch.
I kind of take like half a step between the two or behind them.
Connell will try to make it look as if he's just shifting his body weight, but if he can see Celeste moving behind him, he will actively like trying to make it look like he's just shifting body weight, but be putting himself in front of Celeste. Like,
hey, Michael, how do you make a willpower roll?
It just rolls me dice.
Resolve, I guess it would be. I'm not even fussed about the Aurelia thing. This stylist fucker.
Yeah.
This stylist fucker eyeballing my girl. Like, oh, look, my child feeling like, yeah, nah, it's my fucking kid, mate. I will fucking end your existence. Like, I will literally, I will dig a hole, I will put you in it, and then I'll shit in it, and then I'll
Yeah, so you succeed.
Maxine is shaking. She's so angry and upset and heartbroken, and Connell and Celeste have both probably never seen so many emotions flash across her face at the same time before she just shuts down.
So what got you this angry at Aurelia? I don't think you mentioned it before.
Aurelia did not give Maxine the choice about whether or not she wanted to be kindred.
Okay.
Now she's taken what she's been given and made the best of it because she was given money and power and influence after the fact. But the fact that she had a whole life and it was ripped away from her on someone else's whim.
And finally, the straw that broke. Like eventually, enough straws broke the camel's back. 26 years later, it was, I'll kill you if I see you again.
Burning the tiny, it's this tiny little ball of fire, this tiny little pinprick of like a collapsed star that has just been like roiling around in her for 26 some odd years.
Cyrus walks up to Celeste and goes, decided to return to the pyramid.
Had my fun. I figured, why not?
Support, structure, all those things are going to actually help you get ahead in life. The Anarchs, not much of a chance there.
I think she did pretty well.
I don't doubt that you did. You're always resourceful. We should talk. We're going to be introducing all of you later. The two of us bring a certain amount of authority to the proceedings. We're not in the ruling structure of Camarilla, but we are known. Celeste, we should talk.
Okay.
And Aurelia just kind of does that slow sort of walk towards you, where there's like a little bit of extra swing, kind of as she comes forward, and just like she's got to look like she just snacked on something delicious. This goes, Maxine, I've seen you done great things for yourself.
No thanks to you.
Were you this angry about your life a moment ago?
No, but that's because I thought I'd never have to see your fucking face again.
Well, you see my face again. Here, Sheriff. Things are going to be great. Look, you've done incredible things. I saw inside of you, Art, and I made that happen. And gave you the opportunity to grow into something incredible.
Maxine made it happen,
Like I said,
not you.
gave an opportunity to grow into something incredible. I gave you the tools.
I thank you for your blood, and I thank you for your power, and that is where I will leave it. And you will do the same if you know what's good for you.
Just kind of just takes a step back and goes, "It could be good to have friends, Cher."
I have friends.
She looks over at Romeo and goes, "I told you. She wasn't going to want to see this from me."
Romeo, I think it might be wise if we take a bit of a walk for some fresh air. The air around here has gotten quite stale.
I would agree. It's a shame things aren't going to work out between you two. I believe keeping family, even our kind of family, is important. Your ties to your old life start with her. Anyway, Connell, shall we?
I'm gonna look to Celeste and Maxine and give Maxine a look that like Maxine has probably given Connell this look several times, which is keep your claws in your pockets until we know what's going on.
He does go, Maxine, you can join us if you wish. I have a feeling Celeste will, well, with my old friend Cyrus here.
I apologize, Romeo. That was unexpected. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate a walk.
If you'll come with us, then. Really, I'm sorry I called you on this errand. I was hoping there might be a joyous reunion here. I see I was incorrect. I apologize for the blood that goes under that particular bridge. I was unaware.
Maxine is not looking at Aurelia.
She just
at
smiles.
all.
She goes, "It'd be good to remake acquaintances." And then she kind of leaves and heads down the steps. And if the three of you go, like kind of off, there's like you can kind of go out and then into the back area a little bit to talk.
Is Celeste coming with us?
I'll stay back to talk to Cyrus.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just give
I'm
like
gonna-
a little head nod.
I'm gonna look at Celeste and just gonna say, you know what you're doing, all right? And then I'm gonna kind of walk over as if to like try and like straighten up, like like your clothes are squint or something. And as he's doing that, he's going to kind of whisper to her like, "Don't let anybody tell you don't."
Thanks, Connell.
And then I'm going to say, and seriously, like, buy some sensible clothing. Fucking Christ. And then I'll walk out with Maxine and Romeo. Connell is very, very visibly like he's in predator mode.
Okay.
Like there's none of this like anger or bluster. He's at the point where he's observing prey. He is taking notes of body movements. He is what Maxine would probably understand as like he is angry. Like he is blank faced angry.
And before they go, Maxine will reach out and just squeeze the shit out of Celeste's hand, just real fast.
Squeeze back.
All right, and yeah, Romeo kind of takes you. We'll start with the three of you, you two and Romeo. When you sort of get outside, away from some people, and like, again, people definitely watched. Like as the three of you came down the steps, everyone who was in eyesight was watching. Kind of heads off and goes, "It's actually a good thing that you're here, Maxine. See, being part of the coterie means you're very close. A lot of decisions go through the coteries. It's a way of our kind." But Connell, you will be Primogen of the Gangrel, something which has not existed in very many Camarilla sects. What in your mind do you see this as? What do you wish to do?
I wish to bring back a sense of honor to my kind. The way the Anarchs treat any situation is with chaos, with a sense of barbarism, and an approach to any form of hierarchy as inexcusable. But when you observe all of the greatest creatures in all the world, there's always a hierarchy. Every pack of wolves has an alpha. Every band of wild apes in the mountains has a silverback. There has to be some form of structure. And I want to be that for my people. I want to show them that we can still have our ways. We can keep our ways. But we can do it with structure.
I'm glad to hear that. Maxine, I'm assuming was your experience similar?
I suppose I didn't have much of a choice.
He kind of like looks out. You can see part of the city from the back the back area of this. He goes, if you look out there at all those lights, all those people living their lives, making their way through it. One thing that people understand that Kindred have a tendency to forget is they are part of a machine. They are part of a whole. And a lot of them have, lives desperate of a quiet desperation, to quote the poet. With Kindred, the thing is, everyone wants to be king of their own little selves, the king of their own domains. Anarchs, in particular, may mean well. Freedom can feel like a great thing, but too much freedom becomes destruction. Right amount of control lets people thrive. Humanity remembers that. I think our condition means we tend to forget it.
I have to say I disagree with one part of your statement there, Romeo. Can't look at something like a machine. Machines break and the part can just easily be picked out and replaced.
Well,
It's an organism. It's like a heartbeat. If something breaks, it's natural and you have to let it take that course.
I think part of this.
That's. Sorry, go ahead.
I think part of this difference, Connell, is we come from vastly different times. What happens when a part of the organism breaks? If the lungs, or the heart, or the spleen, or the liver, or worse times, even the wrong tooth goes bad. What happens to that organism?
Would you like the Connell answer or the Gangrel answer?
I'm honestly interested in both.
From the time when I've seen people die of a cut on their finger. I've seen people survive without legs. My answer would be that apart nowadays, I understand people can have entire organs replaced and it's done. That's it. But Gangrel, we see something breaking. It's just a way for wheedling out the weak. Weak kindred, weak people don't make good Gangrel. So I view it like that. But at the same point, if you have some hierarchy, some kind of structure, less things break.
Because I think perhaps we may just be used to different terminologies. Like Maxine, if you have a car breaks down, if a piece goes wrong, what do?
You replace it.
And that car continues to serve you. That's what humanity does. An organism dies, that organism is part of a greater machine, or think of it as part of a greater organism. Sometimes you can lose quite a few of those, and it keeps going. Sometimes the wrong cut in the wrong place cripples the whole entirely. The Anarchs mean well. They just want their freedom so much they don't know how to work together.
They want their freedom so much they'll turn anyone to the wolves if they don't suit them.
And here we have a hierarchy. Everyone knows their place. Oh, Celeste, you still with us, or?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, it's okay. We'll cut back to you. Cyrus, kind of like goes towards one of the railings overlooking a part where there's not a lot of other kindred and such, and just goes, "It's a dangerous game you're getting a part of, Celeste."
It's been dangerous since the day I joined this lifestyle.
That's true. You do know
Is there a
that
particular danger you're worried about?
you do know that the trust is not entirely given yet.
I could assume. Figured I'd have to earn it.
Not only earn it, but Romeo's entire job, everything he does, is about seeing what he can gain, and if what he received was actually the thing that he wanted.
You don't think he is exactly happy with this game? Yeah.
No, he might be. Thing is, he's very good at hiding it. I knew him when he was just a young neonate, barely blooded. He was ambitious always, but to get to where he's at, that requires ruthlessness as well as ambition. No, he definitely wanted you back. He wants all of the Tremere back.
Bringing the others might not have been enough.
I don't know how much he trusts. There'll be tests, he'll try to drive wedges, which, depending on your intentions, could be dangerous for all of you.
I see. Well, I appreciate the warning. Figured there would be something going on behind the scenes. I just was waiting for him to show a card or two.
What is he hoping for?
What am I hoping for?
This is a huge move, returning the Anarchs to, killing one of, they're not Primogen, but they're equivalent.
I wanted to come back. I left to learn, to see how other people were doing this, and realized it wasn't for me. I belonged here.
The pyramid's happy to have you back.
I'm happy to be back.
It'll take some time to earn the trust of, I'm not the one in charge of this area of it. But Romeo, being a Tremere, also can use as many people of his own clan to take over as possible, because New Orleans, let's face it, shouldn't be run by a Tremere by any stretch of propriety. This is a Toreador town to the core.
Absolutely.
But we have power. Romeo needs anything he can to keep it.
Do you think he only wanted me back because I'm a Tremere?
Oh, he definitely wants every Tremere back. There may be other reasons. A Gangrel back with the Camarilla, that hasn't happened in
No.
decade. And Maxine, another Toreador, depending on who she falls in with, she could be a thorn in his side or possibly an ally. The fact that you are connected to her helps.
Let's see.
You get a habit of not going along with the grain, and I can respect that to a degree.
Well, I'm a changed woman now.
Somehow I doubt that. I'm hoping you'll be safe, though.
Thank you. I do everything in my power to be, so.
All right, Maxine, you with us? Okay.
Yes, I was just eating.
Okay. And so Romeo, what was last thing that was said?
We were discussing our
arts.
reviews on what we want to do
Oh,
when,
yeah,
we
okay.
jump, when we take our positions in the
Okay,
camera.
about that loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I'm going to be honest, it's going to take a little bit for everyone to trust who all of you are. To wonder if you're actually anarchs or not. It'll take a little bit of time to, well, to get yourself more sure-footed. But today I can introduce you to everyone officially. I can announce that Amanda is no longer under a blood hunt, and she is to be considered welcome in all Camarilla areas.
Maxine does relax just a fraction at that.
So, we all ready?
Um, I
I-
apologize, sir. Could I have another moment or two?
Certainly.
I feel that I should make you aware of something, Romeo. When we began our intentions to cross over, I called a gather of my kin. They should be arriving fairly shortly.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I intend on making the case to them, try and bring as many of my kin over here as possible.
If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Shall I leave you two alone for a moment? Okay. Starts to walk his way back in.
Oh, no, I am so sorry. I didn't.
Why in the name of hell are you apologizing to me, lass?
I was supposed to be the level-headed one, remember?
It's not about being level-headed. Every single kindred, no matter which clan you are, you've got it inside of you. You've got that animal, that beast. We Gangrel just choose to see it as less of a burden and more of a pet. It takes a bit to learn how to rein that beast in when you have to. Maxine, if we hadn't been surrounded by people who already didn't trust us, I'd have let you fly the bitch. He's going to kind of look around and then, like, he's going to look like the new shirt that he's just got and just, like, rip a bit of the fabric off it and just, like, hand it to Maxine.
God damn it, Connell.
Did you honestly think I was going to be wearing these glad rags again after this?
Takes the fucking scrap, dabs the blood that is starting to pool in the corners of her eyes, because that's apparently how kindred fucking cry. Which is creepy, and I like
I
it.
wouldn't know. Connell doesn't cry. That's a lie.
I just go home,
Look.
stare at the wall, drink whiskey, and just like stoic tears.
Single
Nah,
perfect tear.
Connell does the whole Dane Cook thing of, like, you know, he lets out like one major cry every month where he like goes home and like close the door, does like, hello, anybody here? And after about 5 seconds, just breaks down. Like,
Laura,
he's one of those people that goes and watches himself cry in the bathroom mirror.
Laura, have you heard my my sitting in the dark crying bit?
Yes.
This whole thing, it's like someone broke up recently. You know what I didn't do? I didn't get on Facebook, put vague things so everyone felt sorry for me. I didn't go there and bug people. I sat in the dark crying. Like, I sat in the dark, drinking whiskey, crying the way that a stoic motherfucker's supposed to. The way a man's supposed to.
I don't know.
So I was binge watching Glee.
But yeah, Connell has likely never seen Maxine this shaken or even just like upset before. She gets angry. She gets like feisty. She'll like fucking throw a glass in somebody's face. But the fact that she is sitting here and like letting him see her cry is a big deal.
Oh, they're friends. But they'll never fucking say it to each other. Connell is, you know, kind of uncomfortable in this. He hasn't dealt with, you know, someone crying for quite some time. But he's just gonna kind of like, the biggest mistake that a rabbit makes when it knows it's being hunted is sticking his head out the hole. Don't let her bait you. Don't. Because she's going to try and get to you. And I know she's going to try and get to you. I've seen it hundreds of times. But look at where you are. Look at where you've got to. And look at who you've got standing your back. She had zero fucking part in that. As far as I'm aware, I don't remember getting fucking magic put on me to try and be friends with you. I mean, to be acquaintances with you.
You said the F word.
I'll say another F word in a minute if you don't fucking shut up. Maxie, you're one of the strongest people I've ever met, and I've met a fair few strong people. Rise above that bitch, because you're already higher than her. It's not too hard to get that far above her. And next time that she tries to pull this shit of taking credit for what you did, remind her very pointedly, the only thing that she gave you was immortality. That's it. And in the grand scheme of things, immortality really isn't all that great. Trust me, I am very, 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 very old, as people like to point out to me.
I was a thing to her. I was a toy. Pretty little ballerina that you open the music box and watch it turn. She didn't give me any kind of a choice. She found me and she took me and took me away from my people. But I took what she gave me and I built something.
You built a damn good something.
I hate her.
That much is easy to see.
Oh. You know, I told her the last time I saw her that I'd drain her dry if she showed her face again.
From what I understand, the Camarilla are much more lenient to that than the Anarchs are.
Do you ever know anybody who done something like that?
One,
Happened to him?
he died mad and insane in a tiny little beach somewhere in Ireland. He never got to see what he wanted to see afterwards. He died alone. And I don't even think he was the man that I knew when he did. But as far as I'm aware, he was also a fucking horrible human being as well as a horrible kindred. So I don't imagine draining another kindred, if they deserve it, to be a condemnation.
It was the fact that I didn't have a choice.
I know.
The fact that I was a toy to her. I was a fucking nothing. And to be frank, been nothing up until that point. I grew up a stone's throw away from here, practically in the fucking swamp. I would have gotten pregnant by the time I was, 16. Popped out a bunch of kids. Died in my childhood home, probably. And she took that choice from me. It wasn't a great choice, but it would have been my choice. And
There's nothing that's going to bring that choice back. But there is a choice you do have. You have the choice to be better than her. And now, the Maxine that I know, damn sure as hell doesn't let anybody be better than her. Trust me, several have tried, and I've seen the remains of them afterwards. What she did was horrible. And I speak this from a position of privilege in the fact that I was given the choice. And I made that choice. There's nothing that can take that away. What you've done with it, that's what makes you better. That's what makes you mountains better.
Those shoes of hers were fucking knockoffs anyway.
I don't know what that means.
We could
I'm
cut
sure
back
it's
to
true.
Celeste there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Sounds like a good cut to So Celeste, at one point you hear that there's a door opens on the backside downstairs, and he just Cyrus kind of looks back and goes, "Romeo's probably back on his way up. I want you to keep something in mind. Have you heard of the term Midwestern nice?
Yes.
Smiles on their faces, but knives hidden behind their backs. Anarchs may have kept their knives on the table in plain view, but remember, everyone here has a knife too. Be cautious."
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Romeo kind of comes up the steps. And goes, "Celeste,
Hello.
very happy to have you back in the pyramid.
Happy to be back.
How hard was it finding information, finding scrolls, magic, other stuff, when you're on your own?
Damn near impossible, if I'm being honest.
But here, we have connections. The pyramid may have shattered in a lot of respects, but there's enough of it left where we're not, searching heedlessly for anything that we can find. We'll have a meeting probably in a few days with the Tremere here in the city, get you reacclimated, kind of learn where everyone's at, get our cards on the table."
Okay. It'd be nice to meet new faces and get back into the swing of things. And very excited to learn under you.
Goes, smiles, goes, "So coming back, what is it you want from the Camarilla?"
Well, you already figured out knowledge.
Knowledge and power. There's be more than that. There's usually a why. That why is something I can help with.
I need structure. Something else. I couldn't handle being around people who were willing to throw you under the bus over little mistakes.
Everything is a little bit touchy back there. Well, I tell you what, here in a few minutes, we'll get everyone introduced. You ready for that?
I think so.
All right. Do Maxine and Connell come back in after a while?
Yes. Maxine gives Connell one of those headbutts to the shoulder. Just thonk. And touches up her makeup and squares her shoulders, and suddenly she's Miss Sweet Corn Festival 2019 all over again.
Woohoo! So if y'all go with him, he walks you down to on basically the top level of the steps leading down to the first floor. So everyone kind of stops and is paying attention. Dancer's still going. He goes, "I have a couple announcements to make. First off, Amanda, what's her last name? Stendhal? Bloodhunt is canceled. She is now welcome in Camarilla areas. If she's to be seen, bring her to me or to one of these three here. Many of you may recognize these three, most recently with the Anarchs, but recently, due to their help, not only have we made a good dent into the Anarchs and done a little bit of damage to them, Anastasia Blaze, head of the Toreador faction, is no more. because of these three. Maxine, Celeste, Connell. Connell will be Primogen of the Gangrel. New Orleans is about to see some changes. And then a ton of chatter starts to break out down below.
When Romeo announces the cancellation of the Blood Hut, does anybody look particularly, I don't know, disappointed, angry, upset?
Literally about to ask that question.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't seem so, probably because a lot of them thought that she might have been dead or already killed because she's been off the grid for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also have a feeling this was not new news to people. Like, a few of them seemed shocked or surprised, but a lot of them were shocked and surprised in that way that when you know what your Christmas presents are going to be as a kid.
Like when you asked for it and you got what you asked for, kind of a thing.
More like when you snuck into the closet and looked and saw and had to be like, oh, this is, I'm so happy to open this one.
Okay. Does anybody look severely unhappy that the three of us are here?
A lot of them seem a little like they've been unsure, but the moment though it says Anastasia Blaze was dead, that is what drives the ripple through everybody. That shocks people. And is this a good place to call it for tonight?
Yeah. We did
I'm good
shit.
here.
All right. What I'll probably do is I'll put up on the Discord if there's specific things you want to do with the Camarilla, people you want to talk to, things you want to do, or we'll be able to move on to some other stuff. But everyone gets 2 XP, and let folks know where we can find all you people. And all your cool doings and stuff.
Hi, folks. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You can find me on most social media platforms as _Laura_Tutu_ because I finally got all my fucking handles to match. On Twitter, you can find me as just Laura_Tutu. I am either here hanging out and playing a vampire with Michael and Bran and Hallie, or on Wednesdays, I am hanging out while Bran DMs in his homebrew world, and Hallie's my girlfriend, on To the Skies over at the World
She owns
Guild.
my soul.
Yeah. Oh God, you're right. That's a whole thing you could watch later to figure that out. Have fun. And then on Sundays, specifically this Sunday, I am in the brand new campaign with the World's Guild, Hounds of Hirsum. It is the long shot that my bestest buddy Jocelyn is running based on her interpretation of the Feywild. The champions of the Fey courts are trying to stop the Lord of the Hunt before he consumes and devours and destroys everything, because the hunt never stops. So that's Sunday at 6 p.m.
All right, Hallie or Jalapeno on TikTok. Hey Jalapeno on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, pretty much everywhere else, including Twitch, which I think I'm going to start playing games again on Twitch. I've been playing a lot of V Rising and Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. So if you want the vampire stuff to keep going, I'll be there.
I need to play more Blood Hunt because I have played it a little bit.
Blood Hunt's so much fun.
I feel like we should all get Blood Hunt and make our respective characters.
I'm playing Tremere right now for Blood Hunt because there's no, or not Tremere, Toreador. I'm playing Toreador because there's no Tremere.
I made a Nosferatu.
Is there Gangrel?
Not yet.
Oh.
That being said, on every other Friday, though, I will be in a new campaign that's starting up, not this coming Friday, but the Friday after, which is in June. We're going to be playing 3 p.m. my time, which makes it 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing a Suicide Squad style fantasy thing. So we've all been put in prison for various things, and the team is being broken out, and we've got missions to do. Going to be with like Red Queen Hales, Game Raider Girl, and some other big names on TikTok. So come hang out.
I am Son of Asgard on TikTok, where at the moment I'm going through a little series where I talk about all the subclasses from the third-party published Grim Hollow setting for D&D 5th edition. I'm rating them all from the ones I want to play from the least to the most. I I'm also over on the World Guild every Wednesday, where I DM To the Skies, where I DM for Laura and for Hallie here. We're kind of getting into some real nasty shenanigans that are going on there. And I have my own Twitch channel, which has recently went for a massive rebranding. We're now twitch.tv/World Tree Quests, where we have campaigns every day except Tuesday and Wednesday. Because we just started a new one on Monday called The Forming, which is how my homebrew world started. And it's very, very, very Fey. I'm going with more of a classical interpretation of how the Fey wilds that I was raised on, like the old lands of Tir na Nog and the land under the hill and such. So yeah, if you want to see some real funky homebrew shenanigans, come and check me out. Yeah, that's me.
All right, and I'm Improv GM on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. On Sundays, I run Masks, though we are having a little bit of a hiatus, and then we're going to have the end of our season, at which place we'll be playing another game for a bit before getting back into Season 2 of Masks. We're not quite sure what that's going to be yet. I will be doing every other Tuesday on the Bars and Brews channel. I'm not sure when we're starting. I think in a month or so. I'll be doing a series of one-shots designed to teach people how to play new games. So it'll not just be, here's how the game works. We're going to make sure that you know how to play it by the end of it. And we're going to do a bunch of one-shots on there before we expand that. And I may be having a couple things during the day because I'm a teacher. I have the summers off and got some time. I should also probably get on and play some Blood Hunt. So we will catch you all later.